Hey everyone, Marcia here. I am back today with another scrapbook YouTube process video from my creative scrapbook. Today I am using the September main kit from my creative scrapbook, and this kit featured the Jen Hadfield Live and Let Grow collection from American Crafts. On this layout, I wanted to create a mixed media background with some of my Lindy's Magicals. And the ones I'm using are from the Très Chic set. And I'm using two of them from that set, the Chateau Rose and the Café au Lait. I have a cut file that I'm using that came with the kit. It is from the Cut Shoppe. It is the Love You to Pieces, I think is what it's called. And it's this heart that is divided up into sections with the love at the top. I wanted a little bit of pink to peek out from behind my photo and also incorporate some brown because I didn't want it to be too pink. Photos I'm scrapping are of my son and his girlfriend. Well, they were from a maternity photo shoot. And so I didn't want it to be too pink because he's included in the photos. And this collection has a lot of brown tones in it. I thought if I brought out some of the brown on the background that it would match very well with the browns in the paper. The kit also included a Vicky Bouton stencil with the XO pattern. I am also using that over the top of my background to add some interest once it had dried. Now there's a trick I use a lot of times when you do mixed media. The paper curls up, and so there's a trick that I use. Well, one, use a very heavy cardstock. I use a Vicky Bouton foundation paper, or I use a double weight basil, and you can get that double weight paper from Amazon. Sometimes you see it at scrapbook.com too. I can sometimes get it at Joann's when they have their paper on sale, but very worth it to get the heavier paper when you want to do mixed media. My other trick to get it to lie flat again, I run it through my Heidi Swapp Mink laminator, and just the heat from the laminator will help to straighten it out so that it will lie flat again for you. I had originally thought that I would frame my whole page with this beautiful blue, brown, pink floral print from the collection. I thought it was too constricting, so I removed the sides from the border, and I like this much better. It's much more open, and the heart, since it's wider, this works better with it too. I used a sponge dauber to add a little bit of Tattered Rose Distress ink around the letters love and my heart because I wanted it to stand out a little bit more, and a little bit of ink on the edge does that for me. Now that I have my border at the top and the bottom and I have my heart glued down, I went ahead and I matted my photo onto that blue gingham pattern paper, and I put that on top of this light blue floral print, and I tore the edge of the bottom of that for some interest and mounted my photo on some foam tape to put it on top of it all so that it would pop up a little bit, and then adhered it all down to the background. So then it was time to start to look at the embellishments in the kit. The kit came with two packets of die cut ephemera, the Icon ephemera and the Phrase ephemera. You see, as I'm flipping through here, there are a lot of phrases. Some of them maybe not pertinent to scrapbooking. They're, celebrate and thank you, but you can definitely use those for making some cards, your scraps left over from your kit, which is something I like to do before I pack my kit away. It's sometimes nice to go ahead and make just a couple cards with some of those pieces before you pack everything all up. I went through all of the ephemera pieces and I pulled out the ones that I wanted for this layout. The floral clusters, and even though some of them had little phrases on them, you can tuck those word phrases behind something else. So there's the two here that I'm using, the green leaves with the pink flowers, and then these other green leaves, and then they have this saying across the bottom of these leaves that says we grow together. And I really didn't want those words to show, but you can definitely cover them up by clustering more ephemera pieces on top, and that's what I decided to do here. So I'm using the Happy Day phrase ephemera on the lower left portion of my photo, and then I am just adding some floral clusters underneath that. I also pulled out the butterfly that I could put up by my title, and there's really a pretty bird here that I could put at the top with another floral cluster at the upper right of my photo. So my clusters here that I'm creating create a visual triangle to draw your eye across my scrapbook page. So you go from the lower left to the upper right of my photo and then up to the title. So it really draws your eye through all of the major elements on this scrapbook page. While I'm playing around with these ephemera pieces, let me tell you a little bit about how this photo came about. So my son and his girlfriend asked me to do a maternity photo shoot for them. At this point, she has maybe 3 weeks to go, and it is the beginning of August in Minnesota. Super humid and hot. I think this day was one of the hottest days we've ever had. It was near 100 degrees. It was very humid. And we did this photo shoot in the middle of the day when it is at its hottest. They were troopers about it, especially Brittany, for it being so hot and me wanting to do some photos with her on the ground. She was a trooper through it all, and I'm very happy with how these photos turned out. I think they're fabulous. I like to distress the edges of my pattern paper, and so on here in the border, I am just using my fingers to bend the paper and tear it in a few places to give it that distressed look. You don't need any fancy tools, just use your fingers and crinkle it down to look the way you want. I fussy cut a bunch of these little tiny butterflies out of a sheet of pattern paper. I really wanted to put a bunch of butterflies on here in my clusters. I am gluing just the middle of the butterfly down so that I could leave the edges of the butterfly popped up to show movement and so they don't look so flat. I also wanted to put a bow on here. I love putting bows on some of my layouts with flowers especially. Got my Bow Easy out, this tool that I use to tie the bow, and you can buy this tool on Amazon. It's one of my favorite tools to kind of stick with the pink color scheme here, the pink heart, the pink background, so I used pink hemp twine. The thickers that came with the kit really coordinate well with this collection, I thought. I struggled a little bit with what to put on here for a title, and I ultimately decided with Love Always. I like to arrange my thickers on a ruler first before I put them on my layout. This way I can move them around if I want to. Wasn't sure if I should do the Love Always at the top or move the always to the bottom of my photo, and I ultimately decided to put it at the top underneath the love. Then I thought I needed something at the bottom of my photo to ground it more, so I had this scallop piece of pattern paper left over. I tucked it in here underneath my photo, and that just really helped to ground it so that it didn't look so open there. My Creative Scrapbook has 4 kits that they put together each month. I am using the main kit. They also have a creative kit, a limited edition kit, and an album kit. So there's really something for every kind of scrapbooker. Please go check them all out. Thank you so much for stopping by. Bye bye.